what are these gas laws? So that means the behavior of gas is entirely governed by different gas laws. All these gas laws are derived from that is our variables, that is pressure, volume, temperature, and pressure. So pressure, volume, temperature, and number of moles. These are the variables to describe a state of a gas. Now, the interrelation between these variables is clearly explained as gas laws. So now, these are the relation between these gas laws are the relationship between variables, that is pressure, volume, temperature, and the number of moles. These are the gas laws. Now, one variable depending on another variable, and how this is possible? If we are going to take a relationship between two variables, other two must be constant situation. By taking other two variables as constant, we are discussing here between two variables the interrelationship. These are explained by different scientists. Based on them, automatically yes, okay, clear. Thank you. So we will explain different scientists. Automatically this is explained by different scientists. That is Boyle, Charles, Avogadro, and different scientists. So based on them, on the honor of them, the laws are with respect to those people. That is Boyle's law, Charles' law, Avogadro's law. So something are given. All these laws are, that is interrelationship between our variables. Now we are going one by one. First one is Boyle's law. Boyle's law. What is this Boyle's law? So it is the interrelationship between pressure and volume, and interrelationship between pressure and volume by taking what are those remaining two, temperature and a number of moles as a constant. Boyle explained the interrelationship between pressure and volume. So by taking other two, that is temperature and number of moles as constant. That means, so what we observe, if pressure of the gas is increased, that means a piston moving downward direction, so automatically inside gas pressure increases, so the volume of the vessel automatically decreases. That means as pressure increases, volume should be decreases. That means P and V both are inversely proportional to each other. So therefore, so P is inversely proportional to V. This was observed by the scientist Boyle, which is called as Boyle's law, by taking a constant temperature and number of moles. How to explain this one? That is, at constant temperature and for given moles of gas. So now I am going to give a statement to this. For a given mass of gas, mass is nothing but moles. For a given mass of gas, at constant temperature, the pressure of the gas is always inversely proportional to its volume. The pressure of the gas is always inversely proportional to its volume. Now we are going to convert this law into different possibilities. Now, proportion, I am going to remove the proportionality. So that is why P is equal to some constant K, let it be K1 into 1 by V. And P is equal to some constant K1 into 1 by V. This is another formula that implies PV, P into V is equal to constant K1. From this, P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to P3 V3 is equal to etc. automatically, which is equal to K1 and P1 V1 P2 V2. That means always the pressure and volume, the product of pressure and volume is always constant. The product of pressure and volume is always constant. Here K is called as, here K1 is there. What is this K1? It is a proportionality constant. It is the proportionality constant and depends on temperature and number of moles and units of pressure and volume. At which temperature the reaction takes place, with how much mass the reaction takes place. So now what are the units? What are the units? Pressure has different units, volume has different units. So what that is K value depends on units of pressure and volume, and also depending on temperature at which the experiment are conducted with how much moles. So that means K is always constant. So here it is the Boyle's law. Now, what is the graphical representation in most of the objective power conditions? So which of the following graph resembles Boyle's law? That's right. So what are the different possibilities of those graphs? Mind it, all those graphs here I am going to draw is at constant temperature. That is, those graphs which are at constant temperature, graphs at constant temperature are called as isotherms. That means in Boyle's law, we are using isotherms. Iso means constant, thermal means temperature. So at constant temperature, the graphs are called as isotherms. Now I am going to draw those graphs, different variety of graphs. All those graphs resembles, that is Boyle's law. So see one by one. Here, so P is inversely proportional to VA. That is K1 by VA. That is, pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other. If we draw a graph, pressure taking on y-axis, volume on x-axis. So as pressure increases, volume should decreases. That is not linear, it is always exponential like this. And this is the graph, that is the pressure versus volume. At low volume, high pressure. At high volume, low pressure. High volume, low pressure. So that means it is exactly interrelated one. So that is, so see here, it is volume V1, it is P1. At another case, it is V2, it is P2. No doubt, P1 greater than P2, and here P1 greater than P2. In this direction, pressure increases. Here, V1 less than V2. So both are inversely proportional to each other. It is a rectangular hyperbola. So rectangular hyperbola. The shape of this curve is rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola is the shape of the curve. Now I want to draw different constant temperatures. So that is same graph. Same pressure on y-axis, volume on x-axis. Now I draw a different curve. So this is first one, this is second one, this is third one. That is at different temperatures. Let it be T1 temperature constant temperature, T2 constant temperature, T3 constant temperature. T1, T2, T3 constant temperature. Now what is the relation between the T1, T2, T3? At constant temperature T1, this is the graph. That is the pressure varies with volume. At T2 temperature, it is T3 temperature, it is that. Now, how to identify the relation between the temperature and pressure? That is, see here, let us draw a vertical line corresponding to that cuts all these three laws, all these figures. So this is the pressure corresponding to T3 line. It is the pressure corresponding to second line, that is T2 line. It is the pressure corresponding to P1 line. No doubt we know that PV is equal to nRT. So that means the P is always directly proportional to T. It is a well-known equation. Finally, we are going to derive this equation, that is ideal gas equation from all these gas laws. So to identify that one, how to is T3 greater than T2 greater than T1 or T1 greater than T2 greater than T3? How to identify? Take a constant volume. Volume is value is constant at constant volume. So P3, P2, P1. No doubt P is directly proportional to 3. So no doubt from these values, P3 greater than P2 greater than P1, automatically P is directly proportional to 3, that is T3 greater than T2 greater than T1, and that means the relation between these three, T3 greater than T2 greater than T1, and T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. That is the interrelation between different temperatures. As temperature increases, the curvy nature of that line gradually decreases. The curvy nature of that line gradually decreases and almost equal to a straight line. So that means, so based on that curvy nature also, we have decided which one is high temperature, which one is low temperature. Here T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. It is pressure volume curves. Next, all these are isotherms. Mind it, these are all isotherms because all these are drawn at constant temperature. Graph at constant temperature. These are the plots at constant temperature. That is, these are all called as isotherms. In Boyle's law, we are using isotherm concept. Next, second concept. Another type of this graph. Now, P is inversely proportional to V. That implies P is equal to some constant K1 into V. That implies P is equal to K1 into 1 by V. And P is equal to K1 into 1 by V. Now, it is in the form of Y is equal to mx format. Y is equal to mx. It is a straight line equation passing through the origin. Now, if you draw a graph, that is why P versus 1 by V, P on y-axis, 1 by V on x-axis, that gives a straight line passing through the origin. So that means, so that is the graph. Now I want to draw a graph, pressure on y-axis, 1 by V on x-axis. 1 by V on x-axis. So that resembles Y is equal to mx form. Therefore, that gives a straight line like this. Here, slope is equal to, slope is, that is M is equal to slope, that is K1. Here, slope is equal to K1, that is a straight line passing through the origin. Mind it, in case if it is P, it is a V, it is a rectangular hyperbola. If it is a P, it is 1 by V, it is a straight line passing through the origin. Now, similarly, one more. That is, it is a P increasing like this, 1 by V, it is increasing like this. Now we are going to draw different lines, different graphs, which are at constant temperatures, that is T1, T2, T3. T1, T2, T3. So that means, so what is the interrelation between this T1, T2, T3? Once again, it is similar to previous case. So take a constant value as 1 by V value constant. The corresponding pressure value is identified. It is the pressure value P3. It is corresponding pressure value P2. It is corresponding pressure value P1. No doubt P3 greater than P2 greater than P1. Automatically T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. So it is the interrelation between those temperatures, T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. Okay. So this is P versus 1 by V. Once again, like this. This is also nothing but isotherm. This is also isotherm. Next, one more. One more. That is, we know P is equal to K1 into 1 by V. P is equal to K1 into 1 by V. So simply P is equal to K1 by V. Apply log on both sides. So logarithmic format. Log P is equal to log K1 minus log V. Log P is equal to log K1 minus log V. So log K1 minus log V. So that is, see here, it is in the form of, it is Y is equal to mx plus c form. Y is equal to mx plus c. That means on y-axis we are taking log p. On x-axis we are taking log x. Here m is equal to -1. M is equal to -1. C is equal to log k1. And C is nothing but intercept form. And that means it is y is equal to mx plus c. It is a straight line not passing through the origin. Not passing through the origin. It is a straight line not passing through the origin. It curves the y-axis. It has intercept. Next, here slope is equal to negative end. How much it is? -1 is the slope end. So that means it gives a straight line. If you draw this one, that is, see here. Now I am going to draw a line. So on y-axis, log p. On y-axis, on x-axis, log v. It is the increasing direction. That gives a straight line with the negative slope. Straight line with negative slope. That is this one. Here slope is equal to -1 and negative slope end. It curves the, expand that one, it curves the y-axis. So the corresponding, this intercept value is equal to log k1. And intercept value is equal to log k1. Okay. So now, once again, I am going to draw different lines. That is log p on y-axis, log v on x-axis. That gives different lines. It is at T1 temperature. It is at T2 temperature. Once again here, T2 greater than T1. Here also T2 greater than T1, just like previous case. Take a constant 1 by v log v value. The corresponding pressure value is identified. So it is log P1. It is log P2. No doubt log P1 greater than P2. That is P1 greater than P2. P1 greater than P2 means T2 greater than. Sorry. It is log P2. It is corresponding P1. Log P2 greater than log P1. That is P2 greater than P1 means T2 greater than T1. T2 greater than T1. So this is another Boyle's law equation. All these corresponds to Boyle's law. All these graphs corresponds to Boyle's law. Next, one more. One more, that is, we know pressure is equal to K1 into Vn. That is from Boyle's law. That implies PV is equal to constant. That is K1 at any pressure or volume station. Whatever it may be the pressure, PV is called constant. Whatever it may be the volume, PV is equal to constant. So a constant temperature and for a given mass of gas. So now I want to draw a graph. So PV on y-axis, mind it is P into V, product of pressure and volume, and Pn, P on x-axis. So PV value at any pressure is always constant. That means that gives a straight line parallel to the pressure axis. Parallel to the pressure axis. Okay. Now, once again, I am going to draw one more. Mind it, here P or V is taken. P or V, whatever it may be, there is a line parallel to the pressure axis or volume axis. For example, if I draw PV on y-axis, pressure on y-axis, that gives a straight line parallel to the pressure axis. So PV value is always constant parallel to the pressure axis. Or here also pressure or volume is taken. Pressure or volume is taken. So here, so different constant temperatures, it is T2, it is T1. Once again T2 greater than T1. Once again T2 greater than T1. These are the different Boyle's law equations. So different graphs which are drawn at constant temperature, that is, these are all called as isotherms. Isotherms. That means all these are plotted at constant temperature. Next, one more graph, that is this is also considered. Later I am going to discuss this one. So P by D, pressure by density, and on y-axis. Next, pressure on x-axis, that is a straight line parallel to the pressure axis. That is a straight line parallel to the pressure axis. Okay. So next, one more. It is, that is log P. See here. P is equal to K1 by V, and K1 by V, which is apply log P is equal to log K1 plus log 1 by V, and log 1 by V. Here it is P is equal to K1 into 1 by V. So log A into B, log A plus log B. So now it is Y is equal to mx plus c. On y-axis, log P is going to take. On x-axis, 1 by log 1 by V is taken. So here slope is equal to 1, which is equal to m. C is equal to log K. Here slope is equal to positive n. In previous case, it is negative n. If it is log B, it is negative n. Okay. So see here, my dear boys, please don't chat with yourself. Therefore, now I want to draw log P on y-axis, log 1 by V on x-axis. That is a straight line not passing through the origin because it is y is equal to mx plus c form with positive slope like this. With positive slope like this. A slope is equal to positive n. Here the intercept, which is equal to log K1. That intercept is equal to log K1. So this is all about your graph. All these are drawn at constant temperature. That is, these are all called as isotherms. So mind it, my dear boys. All these graphs are very, very important. You can recognize each and every one. So which are the following resembles Boyle's law? So all these are Boyle's law related graphs. Okay. Now I am going to discuss one, that is, what is the differential form of this Boyle's law? What is the differential form of this Boyle's law? Differential form of Boyle's law. How to differentiate? That is, yes, will come. P is equal to K1 by V. Now I am going to explain the differential form of this Boyle's law. P is equal to K1 by V. Differentiating on both sides. On both sides. That is, dP is equal to, K1 is constant, which is equal to, P is equal to K1 into 1 by V. differentiation of 1 by v is equal to minus 1 by v square. That is equal to k1 into minus 1 by v square into dv. K1 into minus 1 by v square into dv. So that implies dp is equal to minus k1 by v square into dv. Okay. So therefore, now we know, see here, we know k1 is equal to, sorry, PV is equal to K1. Substitute this value here. Therefore, dP is equal to minus K1 plus PV by V square into dV. VV gets cancelled. Therefore, dP is equal to minus P by V into dV. Minus P by V into dV. So P terms are same side. So that is why, so that is dP by P is equal to minus dV by V, dV by V, which is at constant temperature. Because that is our Boyle's law is at constant temperature. Constant temperature. This is the differential form of our Boyle's law. So differential form of Boyle's law, that is dP by P at constant temperature is equal to minus dV by V at constant temperature. Minus dV by V at constant temperature. So sometimes in your objectives, this may be used. Right? This may be used. See here, we know P is equal to K1 by V. That is rearranged. Differentiate on both sides. So d by d something, dV of d by dx of differentiation of 1 by v is equal to minus 1 by v square. Differentiation of 1 by v is equal to minus 1 by v square. That is well known in your mathematics. So that's why here is differentiation of 1 by v, minus 1 by v square is applied. So minus 1 by v square into dv and it is dv. Okay. Therefore, d by dv of, or simply called as d by dv of 1 by v is equal to minus 1 by v square. So therefore, this is the condition rearranged. Here K1 is there. That K1 we know that PV is equal to K1. That is from Boyle's law. Apply that PV. So after cancellation, this is the final case. This is the final case. So that is the differential form of Boyle's law. Differential form of Boyle's law. Now, there is one more one. That is, what is the practical importance of this Boyle's law? What is the practical importance of Boyle's law? So practical importance of Boyle's law. What is this Boyle's law? That is, density of gas is directly proportional to pressure of the gas. It is the practical importance. This is the practical importance. How, sir? So we are going to derive. I am going to give a proof to this. Proof. What is that? We know density is equal to mass per volume, and that is m by v. Mass per volume. So that is equal to m into 1 by v. M into 1 by v. Okay. So 1 by v, we know PV is equal to K1 and E. That is P by K1 is equal to 1 by v. And P by K1 is equal to, it is, we know this term. So 1 by v is replaced with P by K1. So therefore, so this is replaced here. Therefore, D is equal to M into P by K1. For a given mass of gas, M is constant, K1 is also constant. So that implies D is equal to some constant, let it be K dash into Pn. That implies D is proportional to Pn. That means density of gas is always directly proportional to pressure of the gas. As pressure increases, density of the gas also increases. Then. So that is the practical dependence. That is practical importance of this Boyle's law. So that is the density and pressure both are directly proportional to each other. So these are all some points towards your Boyle's law. Is this clear? First of all, PV is equal to constant. So based on that, P is inversely proportional to V. Based on that, different relations and different graphs. All these are about Boyle's law. So differential form already I derived here. The importance of this Boyle's law is already derived to this. Okay. So that is finally Boyle's law. Now we are going to take some problems on this Boyle's law. Okay. So now problems on Boyle's law. Problems on Boyle's law. See the problem here. At fixed temperature, that is the problem. At a fixed temperature and 600 mm pressure, the density of a gas is 42. The density of gas is 42. Now, at the same temperature, and 700 mm pressure, what is the density? Of gas. So already, just in our previous case, density is directly proportional to P. I derived that. Now we know that P is directly proportional to dN. That implies P1 by P2 is equal to D1 by D2 at constant temperature. It is important. Here also temperature, fixed temperature at the same temperature means T constant. Okay. So apply conditions. P1. Where is P1? This is P1. This is D1. This is P2. D2 is equal to how much? So now answer is 49. Yes. So therefore, 600 by P2. 700 is equal to D1. 42 by D2. Finally, D2 is equal to 49. D2 is equal to 49. Next, one more problem. It is very, very important. Listen carefully. 10-liter cylinder has helium gas at 8 atmospheres and 32 degrees centigrade. 8 atmospheres and 32 degrees centigrade. How many balloons of 2 liter each at 2 atmosphere and 32 degrees centigrade can be filled can be filled with the gas available from cylinder. Available from cylinder. So this is the problem here. So there is, see here, 5 wrong, 20 wrong, 20 also wrong, 5 also wrong. See here, there is a cylinder. Take this one as a cylinder. It contains helium gas. The volume of the cylinder is 10 liters, which is it is 8 atmospheres pressure and 32 degrees centigrade. This is the beginning case. Wrong. It is the beginning case. Please listen carefully. Very, very important. Number of times repeated model. So helium gas is taken. 10 liters is the volume of this vessel and 8 atmospheres, which is 32 degrees centigrade. Now, the cylinder that is at 32 degrees centigrade, that means temperature is constant. Now the pressure of this vessel, that is 2 atmospheres. Instead of 8 atmospheres, the pressure is reduced to 2 atmospheres. At 8 atmospheres, it is the volume. At 2 atmospheres, how much is the volume? Find out first of all. Find out. That is how much it is that is applied. It is P1. It is P1. It is V1. It is P2. It is V2. Apply condition. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So P1 8, V1 10 is equal to P2 2. V2 is how much? So that is V2 is equal to 40 liters. See here. That means at 2 atmospheres, the volume of that helium becomes 40 liters. See here, listen here. Volume of that one, 40 liters. That means actually the cylinder volume is how much? 10 liters. So among this 40 liters, 10 liters is inside, remaining 30 liters will expel. That is expelled. From that cylinder, so no doubt there is 40 liters in. Among these 40 liters, 10 liters is inside. The remaining 30 is the extra. The extra 30 is expelled out from the cylinder. That means the volume of gas available to fill the balloons is only 30 liters, not total 40 liters. Not total 40 liters, and it is only 30 liters. That means expelled out gas is equal to 40 liters minus 10 liters, which is equal to 30 liters. This is available. This is the volume available to fill balloons. That is the only volume available to fill balloons. So that means only 30 liters. Each balloon. So balloon volume is 2. Therefore, number of balloons of 2 liters each filled is equal to total 30 by 2, which is equal to 15. 30 by 2 is equal to 15. Now the final answer is only 15, not 20, not 8, not something else. So mind it, only 15. Okay. So very, very, very important. So see here. So total 40 liters is there. 10 liters remain in the cylinder. Remaining only 30 is coming out. The coming out gas is filled in balloons. Each liter 2 liters. That is the 30 by 2. There is only 15 balloons we will fill it here. So this is very, very important model. So be careful. So not 40 by 2, it is 30 by 2 because that 10 is remain in the cylinder, not coming out. So here there is So this is the problem, very, very important. Next one. Next one, next problem. Next model, and very, very important. This is also particularly for advanced model. For advanced exam, this is quill tube experiments. It is very, very important. Quill tube experiments. So that is be careful. How much pressure, how much is there? So check it. I'm going to identify. I'm going to explain this one. Quill tube experiment. So let us take a glass tube, open glass tube, is in horizontal position. Dear boys, please listen carefully. It is very, very, very important. Not easy, first of all. Be careful. This is the open vessel ending, which is in horizontal motion. So, tube is at horizontal position. Tube is at horizontal position, like this. In this tube, a mercury is filled. This is the mercury. This is the mercury. The length of this mercury level is Ln. Sorry, the height of this mercury is Hn. Height is H. Here, a gas is trapped. A gas is trapped within the tube with that mercury. Gas is. Next, here in our previous case, that is a problem model, there is atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. So towards that tube. Now I want to find out pressure of the gas is equal to how much? Now I want to find out how much is the pressure of the gas. Please be careful. Gas pressure is like this, and it is the direction in which gas pressure. That means that pushes that mercury towards outside. Here, atmospheric pressure is like this end. That is, these two forces are in the opposite direction. Now this, that is mercury column, is at constant position after some time, not move any direction. So it pushes, that one pushes, so both are in opposite direction. At a particular time, that is not moved in any direction. That means this force is equal to this force. Therefore, pressure of the gas in this case is equal to pressure of the atmosphere. So here, pressure of the gas is equal to atmospheric pressure equivalent. So very, very important. If the glass tube is in horizontal position, exactly horizontal position, pressure inside the gas is equal to external pressure. That is atmospheric pressure or external pressure, something else. It is the first case. If it is in horizontal motion. Next, I am going to take second example. If the open end is up. Second case, if the open end is up, upward direction. See the diagram. This is the closed end. This is the open end. Here, This is the mercury column. So with H height, this is the gas trapped. This is the gas trapped here. Now it is atmospheric pressure in this direction towards moving inside the vessel. See here, atmospheric pressure is in this direction. This is the direction. Next, this mercury column also moving downward direction. That is, it is also in this direction, but the gas is this direction. That means this one and this one are in the same direction, but is in the opposite direction. At one place, it is going to stand. Therefore, in this case, pressure of gas is equal to the sum of these two only. So, P atmosphere plus height of the column. Height of the mercury column. Yes, I will say. Pressure of the gas is equal to atmospheric pressure plus Hn. So, is this clear, my dear boys? If it is in vertical position, that mercury moving downward direction, that atmospheric pressure moving downward direction, but gas pushes upward direction. Upward is equal to downward. Therefore, upward pressure of the gas is equal to downward atmospheric pressure plus height of the column. Next, third case. Third case. If open end is in downward direction. Okay? Yes, correct. So now the diagram is like this. Downward direction. Here, this is the mercury level of H, height of this mercury curve. Now, in this direction, atmospheric pressure. Here, gas is trapped, which is like this. Next, this one, this mercury also moving like this. This is like this. Now, there is pressure of gas plus, these are in the same direction, it is in opposite direction, plus H is equal to P atmosphere. Pressure of gas plus H is equal to P atmosphere. Therefore, pressure of gas is equal to atmospheric pressure minus Hn. It is important. So, if it is in horizontal position, pressure of gas is equal to atmospheric pressure. It is horizontal position. Open end up, pressure of gas is equal to P atmosphere plus Hn. Open end down, P the pressure of the gas is equal to atmospheric pressure minus Hn. Minus H. So not only this, there is one more, that is see here. Now the open end not exactly downward, not exactly upward. So that is in your previous case. See that video. Why H is taken as pressure. Okay. See here. Now the tube is at an angle. Not exactly 90 degrees downward or not 90 degrees upward. Angle. It is pressure of the gas. Here once again, this is height of the column, mercury, and once again it is height of the mercury. Here gas is trapped. Here inside the gas. Okay. So now how much is the angle here? So when compared to, see here, with this vertical column, let it be theta. With the vertical column, it is theta. In this case, pressure of the gas, mind it, now this mercury, this point is downward direction, not upward direction. So here sin theta, cos theta conditions are applied. Sin theta, cos theta conditions are applied. So see, in this case, pressure of the gas is equal to, if it is vertical column, for vertical column it is theta, is equal to atmospheric pressure plus H cos theta. Atmospheric plus H cos theta. Otherwise, if it is with horizontal position, let it be phi. Let it be phi. In this case, pressure of the gas is equal to atmospheric pressure plus H sin theta. So where the angle is given to you, be careful. If it is with vertical column, it is the formula. It is horizontal column, it is the formula. Sin theta, cos theta, all these are derived in your physics. You don't worry. So please remember this part. If it is at an angle with vertical angle, that is vertical axis is theta, H cos theta is additional part. If it is with horizontal position, it is phi. Sorry, not theta, it is phi. It is phi. H sin phi is the answer. H sin phi is the answer. Please, very, very important. So be careful. So based on these conditions, we are going to take some problems. So, yes, P atmosphere. All these are in atmosphere. Yes, pressure of the gas is in atmosphere and final answer. Okay. So, all these are clear. Horizontal, P gas is equal to P atmosphere. Okay. So similarly, remaining also. Exactly downward, exactly upward, P gas is equal to P atmosphere plus H. Exactly downward, P gas is equal to P atmosphere minus H. If it is at a certain angle, with vertical axis theta, sin theta, cos theta. With horizontal phi, sin phi. With horizontal sin, with vertical cos, apply it. Now, the problem based on these. So take a problem based on these conditions. An open glass tube of uniform cross section is kept horizontally as shown in figure. As shown in figure. The figure is this one. And it is 10 centimeters. Here air is there. The length of this air column is 20 centimeters. This is the given condition. See here. Calculate the length of air column calculate the length of air column in the tube if the tube is kept first case vertical with open end up, next vertical with open end down, next at an angle of 60 degrees from vertical end and open end up. These are the three cases in calculations. So actually that is a given case. So these are the asked questions. Okay. So in the final case, P external. See here the condition is also given to you. P external is equal to 75. Centimeters of Hg. Not here. Yes. That is P atmosphere is equal to 75 centimeters of Hg. Given. Case. So these are the different questions. Try yourself. So try yourself, my dear boys. See here. No. It is up to 9:30, exactly 9:30. Because most there is a lot of series there. See here. I am going to explain once again. So the given case, it is the initial case. Air, let the pressure end. That is, once again I am going to draw this first. It is at the beginning 10 centimeters. It is gas is trapped here. So gas or air, it is 20 centimeters. It is P external, which is equal to P atmosphere, is equal to 75 centimeters of Hg. 75 centimeters of Hg. Okay, see here. Let us say P1 is equal to pressure of the gas cell. P2 is equal to external pressure, which is equal to 75 centimeters. V1 is equal to volume of gas trap. Volume of gas is equal to area into length. Volume of gas is equal to area into length. Let area is equal to A, length is equal to 20 centimeters. Next, V2 is equal to volume into, that is volume into, that is area into length and length. Length is, here I want to calculate volume. V1 P atmosphere 70 centimeters, V1 20 into A. It is in horizontal position. Please be careful. It is in horizontal position. Pressure of the gas is equal to P external, and because it is in a horizontal position, pressure of the gas is equal to P external. So that is the P1 is equal to. So no need for this one. P1 is equal to P external, which is equal to 75 centimeters of it. It is the beginning case. From this horizontal position, these are the given cases. P1 is equal to 75 centimeters. V1 is equal to area into 20. Area into 20. So this is the beginning case. That is P1 and V1, let it be. By using this P1 and P2, P1 and V1, so other cases we are going to discuss. Other cases we are going to discuss that. Okay. So mind it. From this, P1 is equal to how much? 75 centimeters. V1 is equal to how much? Area into 20. Area into 20. That is V1. Now, one by one calculation. One by one calculation. First one, what is that? Vertical with open end up. A. Open end up. Open end up. That means this is the case. Open end up. This is 10. This is 10. This is gas. This is P external, which is equal to 75. Now, in this case, let pressure of gas is equal to P2, but in your previous case, it is P1. Pressure of gas is equal to P2. P2 is equal to 75 plus 10, and which is equal to 85. Is this correct or not? Wherever it is vertical. So this one plus this one is equal to pressure of the gas, which is equal to P2. V2 is equal to area of cross section to L ending. We don't know this one. Let it be L2. So from our previous case, P1 V1 is equal to P2. Therefore, apply P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. P1 75, V1 volume area into 20 is equal to P2 85 into V2 area into L2. So that is equal to area gets cancelled. Therefore, L2 is equal to 75 into 20 by 85, which is equal to 17.65 centimeters. 17.65. That is the length of this gas column. It is L2. So here we are going to calculate that L2. So in short, P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 place. P1 L1 is equal to P2 L2 are used because here area is going to cancel. Therefore, P1 L1 is equal to P2 L2. The formula may also be used here. So in first case, the answer is 17.65 centimeters. 17.65 centimeters, that is the length of 8 columns. Similarly, downward, you should calculate it, downward direction. Try yourself. How much is the downward value? Vertically downward. B, second question. This is P external 75. This is mercury column. The length is 10. This is, let it be L3 gas. Gas is taken. The length it will be L3 ending. L3. Now in this case, pressure of gas is equal to external pressure minus 10. External pressure minus 10, which is equal to 65. Now apply, which is taken as a P3. L3 is equal to how much? That is the P1 V1 is equal to P3 V3, or P1 L1 is equal to P3 L3. P1 L1 is equal to P, that is P3 L3. Apply condition. P1, how much is the pressure? P1 75. L1, that is 20, is equal to P3. Pressure, it is the P3 and it is 65 into L3. That implies L3 is equal to 75 into 20 by 65, which is equal to 23.08 centimeters. 23.08 centimeters. If it is downward. Okay. Now, certain angle, vertical and up, and with a certain angle, with a vertical axis angle. Now the case is, this is the case. It's the case of where it is. That is with an angle 30 degrees, 60 degrees. 60 degrees. It is 60 degrees. Given condition. Here once again, it is a mercury column. Length is 10. Let it be L4. L4. It is P external, which is equal to external price is how much? 75. 75. Now in this case, P4 is equal to pressure of the gas. P4 is equal to atmospheric pressure minus, it is in vertical column and vertical column 60 degrees. Theta is applied. That is cos theta is applied. H cos theta. H cos theta. This is the H value. That is the P atmosphere, nothing but 75 plus 10 into cos 60. Cos 60, which is equal to 75 plus 10 into cos 60, 1 by 2. That is 80. That is 80. Therefore, P1 L1 is equal to P4 L4. P1 75, L1 this 20, this is L1 and is equal to P4 80 into L4 and that implies L4 is equal to 75 into 20 by 80 and which is equal to 18.75 centimeters. 18.75 centimeters. It is at an angle 60 degrees with vertical. So if it is horizontal, this should be 30 ND. This should be 30 ND. There the formula sin 30 is used ND with horizontal. Sin 30 once again it is 1 by 2 ND. Okay, whatever it may be, the final answer is this one. So these are very, very important. So all these are clear or not? Important. Okay. Vertical and up, vertical and down with certain angle. So these are problems based on Boyle's law. There is one more problem. That is, see here. One more problem. This is will to be explained. Please solve yourself. That is already in your assignment. Already sent to you. So in the assignment, these model problems are there. So last problem on Boyle's law. certain number of spherical balls each of volume 10 centimeter cube is present in balloon when it is inflated, its volume is found to be 100 centimeter cube, 1000 centimeter cube. 1000 centimeter cube at the pressure of 2 atmospheres. If external pressure is increased to, if external pressure is increased to 4 atmospheres at the same temperature, then the volume of balloon reduces to, then the volume of balloon reduces to 0.625 liters. 0.625 liters. Find the number of balloons, number of balls in the balloon. Find the number of balls in the balloon. Read carefully. So read carefully, very, very important. 5 wrong, 5 wrong. So see here, at 2 atmospheres, the volume of balloon is 1000 ml. There is a balloon, number of small balls are there, we don't know number of, but each volume is, how much is given to you? 10 centimeter cube. Ball volume is 10 centimeter cube. This balloon volume is 1000 centimeter cube. 1000 centimeter cube. Okay. At a pressure 2 atmospheres. Now external pressure is increased to from 2 atmospheres to 4 atmospheres. That means outside pressure is increased. Once outside pressure is increased, that is applied on pressure, that is on balloon. So automatically the new volume becomes decreased. This is new volume. Yes, correct. This is new volume. How much is the new volume? That is 0.625 liters, nothing but 625 milliliters. 625 milliliters, that is 625 cc. 625 cc. It is the final volume, V2. Okay. So now apply. How many number of balloons inside is there? Number of balloons. So apply the condition. So initial and final cases. Initial pressure P1 is equal to initial 2 atmosphere is taken and final pressure P2 is equal to 4 atmospheres is taken and initial volume V, volume of the balloon, mind it, actually 12,000 cc, but number of inside balloons are there. That means that volume is reduced. That means 1000 minus, I don't know the number of balloons, let it be N into 10 and each balloon has volume 10 liters. 10 and Now V2 is equal to that is 625 into once again 10n, and I don't know the number of balloons. Now apply the formula P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Now P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, that is 2 into 1000 minus 10n is equal to 4 into 620 minus 10n, and 2 times. Therefore 1000 minus 10n is equal to, that is 2 into 625 minus 20n, that is equal to 10, 4, 5, 1250 minus 20n. Therefore 10n is equal to 250, n is equal to 25. So n is how much? There is the number of balloons inside the balloon, number of balls inside the balloon. Now the answer is 25. Now the answer is 25. It is very, very important. So these are different models of problems based on your Boyle's law. So very, very important. So be careful. This is the end of that Boyle's law. Now I am going to take Charles' law. There is one more problem. See here. Once again, I am going to complete that problem also here. So a problem on your Boyle's law. Okay, I will send the material. See that problem, solve yourself. Now, Charles' law. What is Charles' law? Charles' law, it gives interrelation between pressure, that is volume, and temperature. It gives the interrelation between volume and temperature. So actually, what are the parameters of pressure, volume, temperature, number of moles? Among these two, here we are going to discuss the relation between volume and temperature. Other two should be constant. That is a constant pressure and a number of moles. At constant pressure and number of moles. So the Charles observe that volume of gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. My dear boys, it is absolute temperature. Absolute temperature. Absolute temperature means so 273 plus degree centigrade value. So its absolute temperature, not directly proportional to its temperature. Not in degree centigrade, it is absolute scale temperature. Actually, so that is V is directly proportional to T, absolute temperature. Actually, Charles explained it is with respect to degree centigrade. What is that? That is the explanation. Mind it, for every 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature, for every 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature, the volume of the gas increased by 1 by 273.15 fraction of volume of the gas at 0 degree centigrade. Mind it, for every 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature, the volume of the gas increased, increased by 1 by 273.15, the fraction of volume of the gas at 0 degree centigrade. Volume of the gas at 0 degree centigrade. For example, let volume of the gas at 0 degree centigrade is equal to V naught. Now, volume of the gas at 1 degree centigrade is equal to V naught plus 1 by 273.15 into V naught. That much volume increased, right? Now, volume of the gas at 2 degrees centigrade is equal to, which is called V naught plus 2 by, that is 2 by 273 into 1 by 5, this much. Now, volume of the gas at T degree centigrade is equal to V naught plus T by 273.15 into V naught. Therefore, volume at T degree centigrade is equal to V is common, V naught minus 1 plus T by 273.15. That is equal to volume at T degree centigrade is equal to V naught plus 273.15 plus T by 273.15. 273.15, which is taken as absolute temperature. V naught constant, volume at 0 degree centigrade, that is constant. 273.15 is also constant. Now, volume is directly proportional to 273.15 plus Tn. That is, V is directly proportional to absolute temperature, capital Tn. Absolute. So that means for every 1 degree rise of temperature, volume of the gas increased by 1 by 273 fraction of its value. For every 1 degree centigrade. For every 1 degree centigrade decrease or fall of temperature, volume of the gas is decreased by 1 by 273 fractional value. 1 by 273 fractional value. So now I am going to draw different graphs for this Charles law. So see here, this. So from this, I am going to write one equation, that is volume at T degree centigrade is equal to V naught plus 1 by 273.15 into Tn. This 1 by 273 into 15 is let it be alpha. Therefore, volume at T degree centigrade is equal to V naught plus alpha Tn. Here alpha is called as quotient of thermal expansion. So here alpha is called as coefficient of thermal expansion. So how much is the alpha value? Alpha is equal to 1 by 273.15. Number of times asked the question. So quotient of thermal expansion, its value is 1 by 273.15. 1 by 273.15. So it is very, very important. This relation is also very, very important. So be careful. So this is the relation. Volume of the gas is finally directly proportional to its absolute temperature, not with degree centigrade. So now I am going to draw different graphs. Now, V is proportional to Tn. That implies V is equal to some constant K2, let it be Tn. It is in the form of Y is equal to Mx. Now, if you draw a graph between volume on y-axis, T on x-axis, that gives a straight line passing through the origin. That gives a straight line passing through the origin. Their slope is equal to K2. Slope is equal to K2. Now, it is drawn at constant pressure because here P is equal to constant. At constant pressure, the graphs are called as isobars. So that means in Charles law, the graphs are called as isobars. In Boyle's law, the graphs are called as isotherms. Now, these are all isobars. Now, I am going to draw this one. There is volume and a temperature. Different gases, different constant pressures. Let it be P1, P2, P3. P1, P2, P3. Now, what is the difference? What is the relation between P1, P2, P3? See here. Draw a constant temperature case. So, this is the volume corresponding to, it is the V1. It is the volume corresponding to P2, that is the V2. It is the volume corresponding to, that is the V3. No doubt we know V1 greater than V2 greater than V3. Volume is inversely proportional to pressure. Therefore, P1 less than P2 less than P3. P1 less than P2 less than P3 because pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other. Pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other. Therefore, P1 less than P2 less than P3 is the condition. All these are isobars. All these are isobars. Now, once again, take log them on both sides. V is proportional to T. That implies V1 by V2 is equal to T1 by T2. V1 by V2 is equal to T1 by T2. And that is V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2 is equal to etc. which is equal to some constant K2 and some constant K2. Now V is proportional to V is equal to KT. K2T. Apply log on both sides. Log V is equal to log K2 plus log Tn. It is Y is equal to, it is mx plus C form. Y is equal to mx plus C. Now if you draw a graph, log V on y-axis, log T on x-axis, that is a straight line with slope m plus it is 1 and with positive slope and cuts the y-axis. It is like this and it is like this. Here slope is equal to 1, which is equal to positive slope. Here intercept value is equal to log K2. Intercept value is equal to log K2. It is another form of another isobar. So that is based on our Charles law. Next, differential form of this Charles law. Differential form of this Charles law. Similarly, one more graph, that is if we draw a graph that is degree centigrade on x-axis, volume on y-axis. So that is the straight line, cuts the y-axis. If that is extrapolated, that cuts with a negative condition, it is positive. In this direction, it is negative. This temperature, this is the cutting temperature. This temperature is minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. That means the volume of the gas becomes 0. V becomes 0 at this temperature. Here, volume is equal to 0, pressure is equal to 0. At this temperature, 3 degrees centigrade. At this temperature, volume of the gas and pressure of the gas becomes 0. That temperature is called as absolute 0 temperature. Absolute 0 temperature. Absolute 0 temperature means so Kelvin scale value is equal to 0. Kelvin scale value 0 means that is minus 273.15 degrees centigrade, because Kelvin is equal to degree centigrade plus 273.15. That is minus 273.15 plus 273.15, which is equal to 0. This is the temperature where Kelvin scale value becomes 0, which is called as absolute 0. At absolute 0, volume of gas and pressure of the gas both are becomes 0. Absolute 0. Okay. Next, similarly, number of gas may also possible. These are different gas. All these are isobar. All these are at constant temperature. Constant pressure values. Constant pressure. Isobar. Next, absolute 0 means where the pressure of the gas or volume of the gas becomes 0, the temperature is called as absolute 0. So which is minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. Minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. Now, the differential form of Charles law. Differential form of Charles law. We know V is equal to K2 into T. Apply differentiation. dV is equal to K2 into dt. But K2 is equal to V by T. Therefore, dV is equal to K2, V by T into Tn. Therefore, dV by V is equal to dt by T, which are at constant pressure values. So now it is the differential form of differential form of this Charles law. So dV by V at constant pressure is equal to dt by T at constant pressure. So differential form of Charles law.